Hey guys, Insomnia here with some more AFK Arena. Today we're back with our Mauler team. We're going to go ahead and do our summons, hopefully get out of Chapter 18, start catching up to the other teams. So I did pull my 18 Mauler cards, which is out of the Valentine's Day event. We have a ton of Maulers there. Definitely one of the best purchases when it looks at the faction accounts. Out here we got two, which looks like we got a copy of Vurk, it looked like. Not sure, but I unlocked Thorn. Yep, copy of Vurk, so very, very nice for the Mauler account. Rare Heroes got a lot more fodder. Collected up my rare soul stones from the dailies and from the tower pushes. So we'll go ahead and we'll do our ascensions here. Just go ahead and get all of those to Elite Plus. Let's go ahead and get into the summons. And there it looks like we do have two copies of the Spider Queen. So we'll go ahead and we'll summon some Maulers first. Only got 10 scrolls here. So hopefully we can pull an Elite. 2, 4, 6, 6 more rare cards. So we are going to have quite a bit of fodder on this account. I got the companion points here. Hopefully we can pull an Elite. Which, okay, another Mauler card. So not the best summon so far. Hopefully this isn't going to be what the rest of the summons events looks like. But a bunch of rare there. And actually no Maulers in that pull. A couple more. Did get 2 Maulers there. Hopefully we get, this will guarantee a rare. I'm hoping for a Mauler card. A copy of Baden. All right, so the Graveborns are like that. Let's go ahead and ascend everyone that we got here. Got quite a few copies of the Maulers. Excited, this should give us enough fodder. And we do have a card on the table, which we have an Elite pull there. Hopefully it is a copy of Rowan. All right, so some more Lightbearer love. Seems like every account is getting a lot of Lightbearers. I know Lilith really loves them, especially with their stack, which there's another Elite card. Copy of Leica, okay. So now we got all the factions covered there. A couple more Maulers there. So I'm thinking with the fodder, very, very bad on the summons for the Maulers, though. Yeah, not too impressed. We did get quite a few emblems there. We'll go ahead and pull a Mauler card, which will be only the second Mauler that we got out of this entire summoning session. So I was hoping with the wish list we'd get a little bit more, but hoping we get a copy of somebody good here. We know it's going to be a Mauler. A copy of Vurk. Very nice. As you remember from last video, we built Warwick. He is still kind of a little under-geared, a little under-leveled by far. If we can push him a 180 plus, definitely makes a big difference. If you look, getting the ascensions and getting the levels are the single most, largest impact things that you can do to a hero. Their gear is kind of minimal upgrades, especially when you start getting into the further gear. It has more of an effect. But looking here, we do have a lot of copies of Khasos, which I'm seeing I have 1, I have 2, I have 3, I have 4. We already have them at Legendary. Another thing with this team is we're kind of stuck because we don't have, or we're running 3 strength heroes, which is pretty good, but I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build Vurk. Everyone says he is absolutely amazing. He's a monster when you get his signature item up. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Spider Queen here. Titus is a hero that we are not going to build, not right now at least, so maybe in the future when we start getting some more copies of him. But all of his copies are actually just going to sit there if I don't use them. I know I don't like using them for fodder, but I kind of map this out a little bit like I do with all the accounts. So we got the Spider Queen up Legendary Plus, so she is going to be food. And we are going to go ahead and we're going to get Vurk up here. Still holding out for the couple copies of Brutus. Got some copies of Nemisu there. Have another copy of Titus. So we're going to go ahead and build out Vurk. And I think I'm going to use the copies of Khasos at this point. Titus, again, we're not going to build Khasos. So that will get him to Legendary. Grab another copy, get him to Legendary Plus. Then I think we're going to go ahead, since he's one that we can buy from the shop, so not really too worried about getting copies of him over time. So we're going to go ahead and get Vurk up to Mythic, so unlocking a signature item, which does an absolute truckload of damage with his 3 bolts. And we could go ahead and get him up, but primary focus here is looking at Warwick and looking at our tanks, because we have Sophia in the back line. to do, or Sophia to do a ton of damage in the back line, as well as Nemitsu trying to do the support. Nemitsu might be changed out in the future if his support really doesn't step it up a little bit. But I'm thinking at this point, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get Scrag up using the copy of Khasos. Just because, like I said, the heroes that I'm not using in the faction are literally just going to sit there. And he is a hero that I can build in the future because I can buy copies of him. And that way I'm not running with 3 strength heroes and no agility heroes. So changing up the team comp quite a bit on the Mauler team. I'm hoping it's going to pay off. So we're going to have Vurk and Scrag tanking. We're going to have Nemitsu for the support, and then we're going to have Vurk, and we're going to have Sophia as the DPS. So we'll go ahead and we'll build those out, see if we can get any of our signature items up, which that brings Scrag to Mythic Plus. I need 1 single copy, which I'm waiting to buy from the shop. When I buy his 1 copy, we can go ahead and get him to Ascended. So we'll have another Ascended level tank. And here we're going to go ahead and build up his signature item, which very, very cool. When he uses his ultimate ability, he shoots 3 bolts. Even though the bolts do less damage, is shooting 3 bolts versus 1 bolt makes a big difference. If you've actually seen him, he kind of widens up like the Roadrunner, runs up and down the map. And I've noticed, though, is if the enemies are centralized, so if they're in a more tight-knit group, he actually doesn't run in an area where there are no enemies, so it's pretty cool. So we got him to level 9, almost got it to 10 to do a little bit more damage. We'll go ahead and get him leveled up, get him geared up, get it all ready for this campaign push. And here we are, 18-32. So this is where we were stuck with the last campaign. As you can see, no more Khasos, so we'll swap in Vurk here. I think I'm going to keep him right in the middle just because of his ult. So when he does do his Mania ability, and there he actually died right off the bat. That was almost insta-death. And Warwick, once he kind of gets his teddy bear stacks up, he usually does pretty good. But as long as we can get his stacks up, which that was very close. Sophia's a hero that can definitely hold her own just because of her ascended level. So even here, 2.2 million. So Vurk did 0. So not a very hot start. With a Vurk, I think he took the old 1-2 shot and died right off the bat. But he throws his little poison vial there, which is pretty cool. And Warwick is just throwing people around. Much better, much better. All right, so 18-34, like I said, I'm hoping to finish out 18. Chapters 17 and 18 were the stages that I figured some of the heroes or some of the campaign progression would kind of level off at a point. And I'm seeing it slow down quite a bit. We got our Happy Valentine's Day banner just scrolling up in the top. And there, Vurk turns invisible to get a better position. This is very cool. I like the mobility of him, how he kind of runs around the battlefield. And Warwick versus Ogi. He throws Ogi. I love his ability, even though he does go down pretty quick. Seems like, again, just like we've seen in all the videos, Warwick, as well as Almas, as well as Hendrik, between all the factions, the off-tank, especially because of the level in the Ascension, they die pretty quick. We're pretty far in the campaign. I mean, we're fighting heroes at 207 that are all ascended. They're doing a ton of damage, and we don't have the gear. Well, not necessarily the gear, but we don't have the survivability with the Ascension level. So I think once I get him up to Mythic Plus or even Ascended, being able to get his level up quite a bit, which I need some more Hero Essence to get Scrag up at this point. I did get a Mythic Plus, so I should be able to take him to 200, but I don't have any Hero Essence. So again, natural stopping point in the game, Hero Essence. We are almost done with this chapter. And I love Sophia just throws up that little force field in the back, does a lot more damage with Vurk and herself. And they are doing very, very well. 18-40, so this will clear out chapter 18, hopefully Very tough when it comes to the CC. There is the roots. And if you look at the little electricity that Scrag has on him, does a ton of damage, does 80% of Sophia's damage. And look at the boom. Killed 3 of the 4 targets. I'm thinking here, get off the alt early, which we took her down. Very, very nice. So the amount of damage she's doing, 2.82 million. So if you look at comparison, she's doing pretty much more damage than anybody else. I know Belinda ran about 1.8. She's doing 2.8. I know it's pretty specific, but the reason is because of her Scatterbolt ability. Scatterbolt hits the front target and actually breaks into, I believe it's 2 or 3 additional bolts. If you see, there's her big Scatterbolt, which it hit Vurk there, and it hit the frontline target. There's another Scatterbolt. When you get her plus 30 signature item, her regular attacks become Scatterbolts, but Scatterbolts can stun. So not only do they break off, going to be absolutely devastating when it comes to the damage that she can do. The scaling ability, I can't imagine signature item 30 being at level 240 and how much damage she is actually going to do here. Even Scrag's going down pretty quick. We got to get them leveled up. Big thing also is at this point is getting the not only higher levels, but unlocking the higher level abilities, the damage mitigation, a lot of the higher level abilities. When you hit the 181 or the 201 or the 221, makes a big difference when it comes to damage. And right there, Morella just absolutely destroyed us with the Flame Phoenix ability. So that is our first defeat. So just like all the other teams, to try to keep it fair and consistent, we go for our 3 defeats. So we'll change it up a little bit. Hopefully we can take down Estrella down the bottom, even though she's got the fire shield. Vurk goes down, Scrag goes down. I think we got this one. All right, so let's see how they did. 2 million damage again, so very, very similar, 19-4. So we'll continue 19-5. Again, sticking with the same team comp, just because we want Scrag up front, try to protect Sophia at this point, or Sophia. Boom. Seems like when her alt goes off, it just absolutely decimates, similar to Belinda's. But remember, with Belinda's alt, because we are running Rose with her, absolutely just supercharges her ability. So not only is she doing the damage she normally does, she has a percentage base of what Rose has as well. All right, so pushing through 19. Grizzled combo. And even Warwick just going down, like I said, with the gear level, or the ascension level, and the level overall. We're pretty far in the campaign, a lot further than I thought we'd be. 19-8. Just had a very, very solid carry. And look at that. She did her ability rate on the totem in the front, and it killed all 3 targets because of the amount of damage she does. 1.28 million. Vurk, 644. So not too bad. As we're pushing right through chapter 19. Now we have 1 group in chapter 21. We have 1 in 20, 1 in 19, and hopefully the Graveborn. I'm hoping tonight or tomorrow the Graveborn is going to make a very, very solid push. It's going to be really dependent on the summons, if we can get somebody else to Ascended, because right now we just have Grez. So I'm hoping to get them up a little bit higher. But I love Scrag's ability to actually push the campaign. Which this is going to look rough. Which it looked like her attack didn't do any damage there. I think she might have been charmed. All right, so that is our second defeat. And this is what I was figuring for most of the chapter. I think really at this point the anomaly was the Light Bearers, just the combination of the Light Bearers with the CC. Because this is going to be our 3rd and final defeat for this one, unfortunately. Maybe. And Sophia's still holding it down, but that will be our defeat. So let's go ahead and collect up all of our loot. I believe we're going to get quite a few of our faction scrolls. I believe at this point, chapter 18 gives us, is it 16, 12 or 16? 16. So 16 more faction scrolls as well as the diamonds that we're getting. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. I think Vurk was a great addition to the team. Khasos will build in the future, but not right now. He ended up just being food. So again, let me know what you guys think of the Mauler team. And as always, thank you for watching.